Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to this new episode of Electric Air Mobility. My name is Nicholas Zart, and I am the founder and de facto CEO of Electric Air Mobility, a company that I started in a way as a way to provide infrastructure and energy solutions for mostly for advanced air mobility, but as we're finding out more and more for also electric vehicles and the electric maritime world. So I want to talk a little bit about an article I wrote on my website, and it took me a long time to actually write that article because it was a sort of a culmination of different things that, of course happened in my lifetime, with my professional experience, but also hearing about what others were going through at work. And this is all about trusting people. So in the society where we evolve right now, it's easy to trust people and it's easy not to double check because, after all, why not? We're human beings, right? And more I'm hearing about people coming into our new field, advanced air mobility, AAM, and not really delivering on expectations. And I'm talking about companies too. I'm talking about not just single individuals. So for those paranoid minds out there, this is not a cheap shot, not at all. But this is really the lessons that most of my friends, most of my consulting friends have found, and this is something that we're now applying in due diligence, our due diligence. And so the title of the article is called The Power of Due Diligence in Building Strong Relationships. I have to thank my good friend Sergio for a conversation we had not too long ago where we ended it up as, wow, it's incredible, but we've never had to double check the background, the resume, to confirm anything on anyone's background, simply enough because this is aerospace. It's a small world. We all know each other. But what we forget somewhere along the lines is that new people step in. It's a new industry. In my experience, having been 17, 18 years reporting and consulting in the electric mobility industries, is that when the party gets going, a lot of strange characters show up. So in my analogy of the party starts around 7 or 8 o'clock at night, you've got the eager ones to the party, mostly me and my wife. And then around 10 o'clock, you have the who's who trying to show up, try to, capitalize on the whole party. Thankfully, my wife and I are usually the ones that close the party, who close the party. But anyway, we're sort of like in that awkward moment when the party is just starting to rush and new people come on board. So this is really more of something that I saw happening in the EV industry right around 2011, when for 4 or 5 years, myself and a bunch of other journalists and consultants were already working in the EV industry, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, plenty of experts showed up out of nowhere, came out of nowhere, and had opinions, had facts, had proven track records, which, by the way, they weren't proven track records. They were brand new, even more brand new than we were. And today, 10 years, 15 years later, they're nowhere to be seen. No one really remembers them. And even if you look at them, they're just a footnote in the history of mobility, much as I will be. I have no big egos around that, contrary to the appearance. So I want to tell you a little bit more about that and how difficult it was to write this article, because I didn't want to ruffle up any feathers, but what I really wanted to convey is the importance of checking, the importance of trusting, but double checking. Why is this so important today in 2024? Well, in the US, we're heading into one of the most contentious presidential candidacy campaigning ever. We have a choice between two parties, and quite frankly said, they're not that exciting. They're people we've already seen before. They're not really adding anything new. But also, what it is that it's culminating in we trust what we hear, but we rarely go beyond and double check on the facts. In other words, we trust words more than we trust facts. So this was really written with that in mind, is that it's great to meet very nice people. It's great to meet friendly folks and everything. And it's totally normal in LinkedIn to incorporate in your group of friends new people. But as of now, I'm double checking everything. And even if it means picking up the phone and calling, all the way up to the military, we are doing that now. And it's a little disturbing, to say the least. So why does due diligence matter? Because, well, it matters a lot if you want to build strong, lasting relationships. And today, the relationships I have that have lasted more than 15 years are those who are so part of our industries, the electric mobility industry, whether it is in the infrastructure side of things or in the energy infrastructure side of things. But these are friends I know. These are friends I don't need to double check their backgrounds. We know who they are. And of course, I did double check on their backgrounds. But the new ones, more so. So some of the benefits that I list, which are important, is really, why is it important to do your due diligence? Well, that's to protect ourselves and our organizations from potential fraud and other legal issues we'd rather not get into. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have a good law firm behind you, and I know I have at least 2 good law firms behind me, and these guys will go to bat for us. But it also builds stronger and more reliable relationships that last through the ages, and that's based on transparency, that's based on mutual respect. In other words, those work colleagues of mine I have known for years, well, we hang out at events, we hang out after events, we proverbially let our hair down. Back then when I used to have a little bit more hair. But we let our hair down. We tell each other our secrets. And it's a great way to say, I trust you, you trust me. Also, doing your due diligence, it's horrible to say due diligence, but you uphold your ethical standards and you promote a culture of accountability. If I mess up, I know of 2 people who will tell me, actually 3 people who will tell me, hey, Nicholas, you messed up, or hey, you said this and it's not right, or whatever. You associated yourself with that group. Are you sure you want to do that? That's the key word we use these days. But it avoids mostly costly mistakes that can harm our reputation. I know of a lot of incredibly good people in the industry who have associated themselves with less than ethical people, with less than ethical groups. And that is extremely difficult for anyone to watch. Someone you like, you care for, you value professionally, that associate themselves with people who are kind of shady and gray. So it helps us refer the right people and company for the right projects. Hence, that's what we do at Electric Air Mobility. Our partnerships are very vetted. In fact, I would say 3/4 of our partnerships are well-established, international, strong foothold OEMs, big companies, big names, the household names that you've heard and you know of. And that's why we can work with them. After that, yes, we do partner with some startups, and that's also a question of how much we know them, how much we know of their background, what they have done so far, and just pure hunch, pure art. What they have is really good. Nobody else does it quite like that. Carly Simon. So basically, doing your due diligence brought me to where I am today with Electric Air Mobility. And I'm really happy to say that I partnered with a terrific person in the industry, Tony Drummond. You can look her up. She has not only an incredible proven track record in the industry, in the traditional conventional aviation industry, but she's also done a lot of things that most people might not know about. And having spoken to her at length, I kid you not, more than an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours on the phone, sometimes once a week, I've gotten to know her very well enough to know, hey, I share with you all of my projects. I share with you everything that we're doing with Electric Air Mobility, and it's mutual now. So we work together because I know her strong points. I know what she needs, and I know what she doesn't need. And I know I can rely on her for keeping me on track, or keeping down to the operational side of things, which is not my forte. But hey, that's why we all work really well together. And of course, on top of that, I have other wonderful, very close colleagues, Stéphane Grèche in the south of France, Paul Kamen, who is also in the Emirates and lives in Bahrain. And see, these people really help us build a very strong core team of people we can work with and develop ideas and also go up in front of the biggest airports, the biggest cities, the biggest companies, the biggest events and say, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do. So this article, and you can look at it, it's called The Power of Due Diligence in Building Strong Relationships. I'll put a link here, is really about making sure that it's not a loss of innocence. It's actually a maturity of innocence. It's really a way to say, hey, you can trust people, and that's absolutely normal, and that's how I am anyway. I trust you. Why would you get up and out of your bed and start lying? To me, this just sounds so ridiculous. Why would you spend that kind of resources just to do what? What are you going to gain? It's short-lived. You will crash and burn. People will know you as a fake. But as of now, well, we are double checking. So anyway, just wanted to have a short little video on that and to explain a little bit more about why we do this, why it's important to do this. And next, I'm going to open up a few presentations that I did. I know I suggested it in another video. I might put the whole presentation on Patreon, maybe ask for some of you to, if you can, please buy me the proverbial coffee if you wish. All of these videos, and probably the reasons why I don't do more of them as much as I would, is because I have to spend my time, obviously, making sure the company thrives. But if we did have a little bit more of a budget for these videos and for these articles, I would be happy to do one video, one article a day, including a podcast. So anyway, if you like that idea of maybe buying a coffee, or well, for me, really, it's not a coffee. It's more of I love tea. I enjoy tea. But if you would buy me a tea, I would definitely make these presentations available to you. And please, next, we're going to talk about DriftX in Abu Dhabi at the end of this month, April 2024. What we will be talking about, why DriftX is so important, and what it means to our industry. Once again, my name is Nicolas Zart. I am the founder and CEO of Electric Air Mobility. I am very excited to present these videos to you, and I hope we shed some light and also help you with better formulating what does advanced air mobility look like, what does the future of mobility look like, and basically if you need any help with conceptualizations, designing and implementing Vertiport in its infrastructure side of things, Vertiport terminals, but also air traffic management, and most importantly, energy. How does energy fit together? How do you store it? How do you use it? Well, this is what we do. We provide modern mobility and infrastructure solutions for the future of our mobility, which is, by the way, right around the corner. Let's not forget that SkyDrive will be flying next year from the Osaka International Airport to the Convention Center, and I'm one of the first ones to be on that flight. We hope you've enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you again very soon.